Hey y'all, Terry here with your November real estate market update for the high country of North Carolina. As we move deeper into fall and head towards winter, the market starts to slow down. And this is normal for our area, but there are still some interesting trends worth paying attention to, whether you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on things. So in this video, I'm going to break down what's happening with listings, sales, prices, days on market, and buyer activity so you can see the big picture. Let's start with new listings. November saw a sharp drop in homes, but despite this slowdown, our active inventory remains at nearly 30% higher than last year. So that means there's still more homes available for buyers than there were in 2024. And even though there are fewer homes that are coming on the market, buyers still have options. And for sellers, that higher inventory does mean more competition. But for buyers, it's actually a good time to take your time and really compare those properties because the market isn't moving as fast as it was in the peak summer months. Now let's talk about sales. The average number of homes sold dropped about 64% from October, which makes sense given the slowdown in our new listings. But when we look at year-over-year numbers, closings are still actually up 11% compared to last year's November. What this is telling us is that while the market slows down seasonally, demand is still pretty healthy. People are still buying, especially motivated buyers who might be relocating, buying second homes, or they might be taking advantage of favorable financing. For sellers, this is definitely encouraging, and it shows that even in slower months, the market is still active. For buyers, it means you can still find opportunities, but you might notice that the best homes are still moving relatively quickly, especially the ones that are priced right. Let's dive into pricing. The average sale price in November rose about 7% from last month, landing at $779,000. The median sale price is up roughly 3% from last year, so prices are holding steady. However, the price per square foot dropped from $417 in October to $377 in November. Why? October was unusually high, so November is more in line with the broader 2025 trend. And if we look at the numbers throughout the year, price per square foot started around $291 in January, jumped and dipped over the months, and October was our peak. So November's number really reflects a return to a more typical pattern for us. For sellers though, this means pricing strategically is key. Overpriced homes are going to sit longer in this slower season. Buyers, on the other hand, they might find opportunities to negotiate slightly, especially if a home has been on the market a while. Next, let's go ahead and talk about days on market. The average days on market went down slightly from 135 to 134 days, but the median days on market is up nearly 11% year over year. So what this tells us is that while some homes are still moving quickly, more buyers are taking their time to make decisions. We're seeing what I like to call a deliberate buyer trend, meaning people are more carefully evaluating homes, for making sure the property and the investment are right before they move forward. For buyers, this is a good sign. You can take your time and still make an offer on the right home without feeling rushed. Sellers, though, they're going to need to understand that the market is slower and preparing a home to stand out is more important than ever right now. Finally, let's talk about cash buyers. In November, about 47% of all sales were cash purchases. That's nearly half of the market, guys. Cash buyers are often investors, second home buyers, or they're people relocating from higher cost areas. Their presence is going to keep demand strong even in months when traditional mortgage financed buyers are taking a slower approach. For sellers, cash buyers are great. They often move quickly and reduce the risk of financing falling through. For buyers who aren't paying cash, it's important to be prepared with financing pre-approval if you're competing in this part of our market. So what's the big picture, right? November brought the expected seasonal slowdown, fewer listings, slower sales, and a calmer pace, right? But underneath that, the fundamentals remain strong. Inventory is up compared to last year, prices are holding steady, and buyers, especially our cash buyers, they're still very, very active. If you're a seller, the winter months can be a good time to list a home if it's priced right and is presented well. Serious buyers are still out there looking. And if you're a buyer, there are opportunities to move thoughtfully. Take your time and find the right property without the rush of peak season. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you're curious about how these trends affect your specific situation, I'm happy to help. Reach out anytime. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next market update. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.